Welcome to the Strategy Mob Podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know to stay in the know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It is Jason Harris here with Digital Dealership Solutions. Today I have my guest, Mr. Paul Vander Voort. I said it right this time, right?
You did, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Paul, thank you so much for taking the time to jam with me today, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no, thank you for having me on.
Hey, Paul, for everyone out there that's listening and watching right now and kind of don't know how you got started in the industry and kind of what you're up to, if you can kind of give us that 2-minute origin story that is Paul. All right. That'll be a great place for us to start.
Sure. Well, I probably have a pretty original origin story. I worked for the federal government in Ottawa for about 14 years. Then something tragic happened. My first wife passed away. I won't get into too much detail there, but
sorry to hear that.
There was a lot of triggers there. So I upped and moved from Ottawa to just outside of Calgary in Strathmore, and found a job that was close by. And turns out I like it. So that's really...
How long have you been in the automotive industry?
I've been in the automotive industry for just under a year. And
that's awesome.
In sales period for just under a year. But honestly, it's any job is really, it's more or less the same. It's about, like you've said before, building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're in the government, you got to build relationships, but you're not selling a product. You're selling a policy or a guideline or a regulation, and you got to get buy-in from the people above you, and you got to get people around you that need to follow those guidelines and those policies to buy in. So it's really a lot. It's very similar, building those relationships.
I think that's pretty cool. That's a nice correlation back and forth, because I was just talking earlier today with somebody where sales is just an exchange of perceived value, right? I mean, when you're in the government, when you're looking at a bill, it's just the perception of the value that brings is going to determine if that person is going to want to take action on it or not take action. And, selling a car is the exact same way. We want them to take an action on it. Well, they have to have a perceived value. The value doesn't actually have to be truth. It's just their perception of the value has to be there, right?
Yeah. And I mean, with the government, you have different guidelines that are coming in, and you can't just say, here they are. They're people. You have to show them the value of it in order for it to work properly. So
now we connected because really just kind of about content and creating video. And I remember you had some questions and you reached out to me, and just kind of spawned off from there. I know you've been on this journey of kind of creating your personal brand and creating content. Tell me a little bit about how that's going and how that started.
Well, I'm really, really early stages. So, I mean, I tend to think, hey, why isn't anything happening? And then I remember it's only been like a month and a half, maybe, that I've not even, maybe 3-4 weeks of actually really trying to ramp things up and get into more different platforms. And I just started YouTube maybe a week ago, and I have 4 videos on there, but what I'm finding, at least from just kind of experimenting with the different platforms, TikTok, I have no clue what I'm doing at all. I'm just
that's okay. Most people don't.
Random stuff up there. Like, I'll take a handful of memes and make a slideshow and throw it up there, and it gets 900 views. I'll do the same thing and it gets 0. So,
dude, TikTok, you literally bash your head into a wall trying to figure out exactly what engages, what doesn't. I'm curious. Now, why did you decide to start doing it?
Well, the dealership I'm at, they sell about 45 vehicles a month,
mm-hmm.
and that includes their house deals. And they everybody and their uncle sells cars there.
Nice.
The GM will have customers come in and speak with him, and they'll buy through him. So no sales guy gets a commission. The marketing / finance guy will get the odd customer, and he'll sell to them, and sales guys don't get a commission there. So and then the sales manager will have the odd friend that comes in, and then, so that'll be another house deal. So, I mean,
so really your opportunity to try to create your own audience,
there's
funnel.
very little leads that come in through the dealership.
Okay.
I mean, there's the odd one. I might get a sale every other month through it, and otherwise it's walk-ins. So I'm like, I got to do something. I'm averaging about 5 vehicles a month. So I was like, well, I need to do something to get this sorted out.
Now,
and of course, my general manager is following me on Instagram. So now I have to be careful what I put on there, because, and he's telling me, only post once or twice a week. We don't want to flood them with too much. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just leave Instagram. I've bailed out on. I'll just play the game on Instagram, and I'll do what I need to do on the other ones.
Once or twice a week. I guess me and him definitely want to get along with my 15 posts a day.
He has no clue. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do what you. I'll just post the odd thing on there. And so Instagram, I won't try to do anything with Instagram. But I've got a Facebook group. I've got a Facebook page. I post at least a couple times a day on both of those. YouTube, I'm trying to, but I kind of backed off on the whole video thing. So I got to get myself back in that mindset of, hey, do some videos.
Yep.
TikTok, I do at least 3-4 times a day. And then LinkedIn at least once or twice a day. So.
Now, I think what it is when you're getting into creating content and you're getting into social media, right? There's 2 words in there. There's social, and then there's the media portion, right? So, we can talk about the media portion, then we'll talk about the social portion. On the media portion, it is super important to understand contextually what each network is about, right? And what you put out on each network is going to be different based on the audience that you're trying to target. I think there's a lot of salespeople will get into this and go, I'm going to make a personal brand and I'm just going to start shooting some videos, and the up bus is going to roll up and I'm going to get a bunch of customers. And that's not necessarily, that's not really the case. This is, I think in automotive we have a hard time grabbing onto this because we're so focused on kind of a 30-day cycle. Like we got to sell cars right now, but your branding efforts and the content you're putting out there, it's a long game.
For sure. I'm definitely giving it a lot of time to play out. Like I'm not thinking, okay, next month I should have 4 or 5 leads. It's something that's going to take time. Like I'm also building my own personal Facebook.
Yeah.
And so like my personal goal for LinkedIn and for Facebook is to get over 1,000 connections on both of those, and not just randomly thrown out, hey, connect with me, friend me. Like it's more strategic than that.
When I'm thinking of content, it's, you want to increase your audience, right? But we have to kind of first identify who this audience is. Once we define the audience that we want to target, then we have to create content that's relevant to that audience. So when you're thinking of, a car buyer in your area, all right, that visits the dealership, what does that demographic typically look like for you?
Oh, geez. They're all over the map. Like, it depends. If they're local, it's a lot of old people.
Okay. Well, there we go. All right. So there's an older demographic there.
But I mean, we get people from Red Deer, from Edmonton, from Medicine Hat, from Bassano, from Brooks.
And that's what I think it is that look, at the end of the day, I find that people that are, when they get into the social media, they start creating media, they start creating content, right? Is that they're trying to be the everything and anything to everybody.
Yeah.
And, I stay in the automotive space. I stay in my little vertical.
Yeah.
And, can Could I easily kind of stretch outside of that vertical and talk about other places? I could, right? But I know who my audience is. I know that my audience are going to be sales managers and general sales managers and dealer principals and fixed ops managers and parts managers and service managers.
Yeah.
Like I know this is going to be my audience. So I want to create content that's going to be relevant to them. So, that's why we end up doing these strategy podcasts. That's why we record a lot of my strategy sessions when I'm with clients. It's because it gives you kind of that, bird's eye view, kind of like what's going on, I can get the benefit of listening in on this conversation. So, really, I think the best step for you is to identify who that audience for you that you want to target first. You don't have to, if you want to target an older audience, a retired audience, that's totally cool. If you want to target a younger millennial audience, that's fine too. Even though I say that and millennials aren't really that young, a lot of them already have kids of their own, but, or you want to target that, let's say that 35 to 45 family audience. Which audience do you feel most comfortable talking to?
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem talking to any of those audiences, actually. But I think one of the big groups that do come into the dealership are the farmers. There's a lot of farmers and
there you
buyers. Go. And so I have heard from a few people that there's a certain time of year where they like to spend their budget. So I'd like to be able to focus some content and some advertising towards, hey, you know what I mean? Like,
well, but that exactly. So now you're creating content for them, right?
Yeah.
You're not creating content for yourself. Okay. You're creating content for those farmers. What is important to them? What events are coming up that are important to them? What time of the year are you harvesting and this and that? What's important to them? When you're creating content, maybe sit down, interview some of these farmers and talk to them and get their story of kind of how they got started in the area. What's their family history within your space? That content is relevant to the other farmers. Like, oh, I appreciate that story. Hey, I remember that. That's making that content relevant to that specific audience. I see way too many sales guys going out there and just making content like, here's a cool fancy car. Okay. That's not going to, exactly. That's not going to connect to me as an individual. It's like when I'm making content around dealership marketing, not marketing in general, dealership marketing. When I make content around dealership operations, right, I'm targeting those people, right, in the showroom, and I'm creating content that I would hope that is going to be relevant to them and that they're going to get value out of.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll tell you right now, as a team, okay, we spend probably 60% of our time when it comes to creating content, talking and defining the audience before we go and make the actual piece of content.
Yeah. But I mean, isn't it better to kind of have a bit broader of to try to get,
No, because look, if you got into this 7 or 8 years ago, I could tell you could be broader, right? Your TikTok right now, you can be broader. Okay. Yeah. Because there is still it's a new network. There's a lot of organic reach still on TikTok. All right. Yeah. TikTok you can play with. You can do just anything. TikTok's more entertainment. Maybe you throw a dash of education in every once in a while. But, it's like there is still a lot of organic real estate out there on TikTok that you have that opportunity to just kind of be more general and just be more just about anything and everything. There is no organic real estate left on Instagram. There is very little left on LinkedIn. There's almost none on Twitter, and definitely not Facebook. And you probably experience this too. You'll throw stuff on Facebook, you'll include hashtags or something like that. No one responds with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still early days with my website or with my Facebook page and my Facebook group, and I haven't even done a Facebook ad yet. So I started one, and anyways, it's payment was PayPal was giving me a hard time, so I got like $2.60 into it. So
well,
I really haven't done that yet.
Even when you're running ads, right? Like, again, it has to be relevant to the audience that you want to target.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make, let's say that, using ads is a great way to deep dive into a audience without having to spend the time to organically build out the value for that specific audience, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're going to target families with 2 kids in your area that are behaviorally shopping for a car right now, right, that content better be super relevant to them as a family.
Yeah.
It has to be like, hey, this is, this SUV, in my opinion, is the best SUV for families with kids, between 10 and 15 years old. And today I'm going to show you why. Right. Yeah. And it's like, you literally go show them, how the hockey bags fit in there. Right. You show them, because you don't have to worry about car seats, because again, you're targeting all parents. You're going to show them how many children you can fit in the back seat. You're going to show them that, how much cargo space there is for those family vacations and those road trips. Like that, you're going to make that content, you can make that piece of medium just for them. And then that's who you target with.
Well, the other thing I was thinking, because over the last probably couple of months, our sales manager has been getting call after call after call for these vehicles we have, these 19 vehicles that we have that are used.
Sure.
That I guess nobody has. So like, that's not really targeting a specific group, but it's targeting, a buyer that's looking for that specific vehicle. So how would you go about doing an ad for something like that? Like, cause there's obviously a market for them, and we seem to be the only ones that have them, and he doesn't want to let them go. He just wants the people to find us. But I want to help those people find us. You know what I mean?
You're thinking bottom funnel. All right. Social media has nothing to do with bottom funnel. All right. Okay. So, you're thinking like people first become aware of your product or solution. Then they either become interested in the product solution, right? Then they can, if their interest is deep enough, then they can enter into an actual buying cycle. And then even during that buying cycle, right, you have research, shopping, and then full on purchase mode. Okay.
Yeah.
So these
are the people that are ready to buy. They just can't find what they're looking for.
Yeah. Right? And that's not going to be a social play, right? Like that's, okay, if you want to get really, really specific, low to the bottom. All right. You're going to run some text ads on Google, that are literally 2019 Chevy Equinox, ST blue all-wheel drive.
Okay.
Literally, that's that long of a string of keywords.
So you go into Google ads for that.
Oh, 100%. Because it's a super low funnel. Like, I mean, you think about it. Like, if they've gone as far to literally identifying the product, all right, they're completely aware. Oh, yeah.
Other dealers calling, I want one. You have 3 of them. I want one of them.
Exactly. And that's a tough audience, by the way. All right. Targeting that audience down here at the bottom, all right, is incredibly expensive and very difficult. Why? Because everybody targets this customer down at the bottom. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. When you think higher up in that funnel, all right, there are less people marketing to those people. All right. Your cost is going to be a lot lower, and you get to them first. You have the opportunity then to work them down through the funnel, right? If you're trying to compete down here at the very bottom, you're competing with everybody.
Yeah.
So that becomes really difficult. So you got to think of you're going to be building pieces of content just to make people simply aware of your product. Okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
More think of it like a did you know series. That's what I'd like you to do. Like, did you know, blah blah blah, right?
Okay. Yeah.
What's your favorite vehicle to sell right now?
Oh, the one I just sold.
Which was that?
No, it's seriously though. I like selling the SUVs, but yeah, no, the last one I sold was an '09 Sierra, and I'm just joking, just because the next one I sold is the one I like the most. So.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
But you like SUVs, but that's kind of more for you, right? Which which SUVs do you like? Big SUVs, small SUVs?
I like the Acadias and the Traverses.
Okay, so you like something a little larger, right? 3 rows, right?
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I like big stuff. I like big cars.
Blazers.
I like big SUVs. I like big trucks. You stick me in a little tiny, Equinox, I'm going to be really annoyed.
Yeah. Well, my play with those usually is I sit in the back seat and I say, well, I fit. I'm 6 feet.
Okay, so there you go. So it's like I like the extra room as well. All right, because that's where that's what you like, and naturally you're gonna have a little more passion because it's something that you particularly like. All right, you should start doing a Did You Know series. All right, about those vehicles. Now, understand that the Did You Know series is not going to drive a purchase to you. What it is going to make people aware. Okay.
Yeah. No, I think right now it's just about getting my name out there and getting more exposure and just getting people to follow
you and to to look. You don't have to do social media to sell cars digitally. Okay, like that's a big misconception. All right. I have many dealerships right now that regularly are putting social media digital campaigns out there and do not actually do anything socially. So it's 2 totally different strategies. All right. You got your paid strategy and then you got your social strategy, and they are nowhere close to the same.
Yeah. Well, that's part of too. I mean, part of why my content is, I'm not up to like 8 to 10 is because I'm not just trying to pump crap out, right? I'm trying to put stuff that's useful and that's resonates and that's not going to be just garbage that I'm throwing out there. And also, the social part, right? I have to remind myself, hey, go in there and talk to some people, make some comments,
Oh, you have to be social on social media.
Not just go, great job, like actually make relevant comments, Well,
so, you want to engage with. I mean, have you used Twitter's search function at all?
I'm not even on Twitter.
Okay, you should probably get on Twitter. Even if you don't tweet, okay, even if you don't throw anything out there, all right, Twitter's got a great function where you can actually search, all right, keywords like Acadia. If someone actually used that word in one of their tweets in your local area, okay, now you can actually engage with them on something they may have said about the Acadia. Maybe someone just tweeted out, hey, is anybody driving the new Acadia? What do they think of it? It's like, oh, crap, there's an opportunity for you to engage.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, because what I was told, Twitter is kind of dying. Don't bother even going on Twitter.
Well, that's again, you have to decide what your goal objective is behind your efforts. Okay.
Yeah.
So like I'm always balancing out my efforts between customer acquisition and branding. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I know that my branding over here, right, will bring me the opportunity to speak to new customers, right? But I don't expect that to convert people, right out of the gate. All right. I expect that to be a long-term game. So it's like I got a short-term strategy and I have long-term strategies always running simultaneously. Okay.
Well, and then the other thing I keep hearing over and over, especially in LinkedIn, is 90% of car buyers want to know who they're buying from, but 10% of them, only 10% of them do or something. So,
well, they want to know who they're buying from, but they also want to know you as an individual. All right.
Yeah, that's
so
what
it's
I mean.
Like
so how
your brand. Well, let's talk about your brand. Let's talk about your brand for a second. Okay. Your brand is not being a car salesman.
No,
it's not. Right. No. Give me a couple. What are some of your passions?
Well, I love movies.
I do too. I'm a big movie junkie. Like there are people that say love movies, and then there are people
Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek, those ones, DC, all those kind of movies. The big blockbuster ones that you got to see in 3D IMAX kind of thing.
Now, do you get deep though into the storylines where you're able to like identify certain nuances where like, one of the Marvel movies, they made reference to this, was just really talking about what's going to happen in the next series. Like, do you get deep into it?
You mean like the Easter eggs and stuff?
Yeah.
Yes. A little bit. Yeah.
See, you should be making that's where one of your passions are. And that's where kind of your brand, your personal brand should really be kind of coming from. That's what you should be talking about on a regular basis. People are going to be able to connect to you on a human to human level based on what your passion is. My passion is operations and marketing. Like, it legitimately is, right? My family hates it. My friends hate it. Like, I'll go out, just for a night out with some of the guys, and we'll be in a restaurant, and I'm like, did you guys just see what happened there? Like, did you see what that manager had to do to talk to that waitress to make sure that bartender got this? Did you see that operations just play out right now? That was amazing. They hate it. They're like, this is the most boring thing in the world. But that's just what I'm passionate about, right?
Yeah.
Dude, the same thing. And you got to be putting out content about Star Wars and Marvel. I'm serious. So that's how people will connect with you on a person. But they know your profession.
On personal Facebook page?
Dude, do it on all of them. You don't think that there's going to be Star Wars and Marvel fans on LinkedIn? Of course there will be. Do it everywhere. Do it on Instagram, do it on Twitter, do it on LinkedIn, do it on TikTok. Dude, it's your passion. That's what you enjoy doing. So that's how you're going to create a brand. That's how you're going to connect with other people, right? That's going to be why people are going to want to connect with you. They're going to want to connect with you on your passion. Now, they'll know that you sell cars. That's great. Right. But as they connect to you on a one-to-one person level behind your passion, right, when they're in market and ready to buy a car, who do you think they're going to want to buy a car from? Someone that they've already made a connection with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I can guarantee you're in Ottawa. No, sorry, you're not in Ottawa. You were in Ottawa. You're out in Calgary.
Right near Calgary, yeah.
Right near Calgary. I can guarantee you in your local city right now, there are some Marvel and Star Wars fans.
Oh, yeah.
You should bring them together. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm being dead serious about this, right? Like, you should host a Star Wars event at the dealership, and you should invite all local Star Wars fan to come down. I'm being totally serious, right? Allows you to connect with those other people in your area that have the same passion as you do.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting into Star Wars a little bit myself right now.
I got a Star Wars poster on my wall in my office. Yeah.
Did you watch the series they did? What was it about the bounty hunter?
Oh, Mandalorian. Yeah.
Man,
I haven't watched it all yet.
Okay, I won't give you. I think
I'm only like halfway through the first season or something.
Dude, it was awesome. Like, right now, because you're a Star Wars and Marvel fan, every single piece of your content for the last month should have been how Disney Plus came out and how Disney Plus is the most amazing thing in the world. And you have all the access to old Marvel stuff, new Marvel stuff, old Star Wars stuff, new Star Wars stuff. You have all the different segues and break-offs and all that stuff in one place. Like, that's what your content should be about. And then people are going to want to connect with you because they're going to say, oh, yeah, that's really cool too.
Yeah, it seems counter to not talk anything about
cars.
Yeah,
but that's what you do for a living. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what you do for a living, right? That's what your passion is around that. You're going to make connections around that, right? Those people are going to need vehicles. Those people have friends. Though they have family members, they have coworkers, all right? They're going to be at work one day. Someone's going to say, oh, I'm looking for a new Acadia. I'm thinking about buying one of them. Oh, look, I know this guy online. He's really super cool. We've connected a few times. His name's Paul. He could totally help you out. The dealership's just on the other side of town.
So should I be creating a different Facebook page? Because, my Facebook page is Quality Drive with Paul. That has nothing to do with Star Wars.
Nothing to do with Star Wars. And then it should be a Star Wars page.
Vehicle solutions, So
it should be a Star Wars page.
Yeah.
Because it's like, now look, I've seen this go the other way, right? I've worked with salespeople in the past where, like, their passion is the cars. And it's like they're so passionate about GM products that, they could tell me every single pickup truck built from 1952 to, 1998. It's like, I had someone the other day, literally telling me the gear ratios on a GM Cyclone. You know what a Cyclone is?
No.
It was a pickup truck that they built that was like a stupid, crazy pickup truck. It was like a turbocharged or twin turbocharged. inline six or something. I can't remember what it was, but this guy knew everything about this thing. And it was just like, you could tell that this guy just bled blue. He just GM blue. That's what he was. Right. And, but that was his passion. So when he was talking about this truck that was built, I think in the late 80s, you know, and it was just this incredibly overpowered truck. And there still hasn't been a truck today that kind of represent, I didn't even know about this thing. I was like, okay, now I'm interested. Right. But the way he was talking about, the way he was coming out, just that was his passion. He could talk about cars literally all day long, especially GM cars. He could talk about it all day long and people could be entertained and they can connect with him on that same passion. Yeah. It is totally okay that your passion is not selling cars, right? That's what you do for a job, all right? And you're passionate about your job and your career. You should put some content out there from time to time. But what really gets your juices going is Star Wars and Marvel. And that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still love selling cars. I just wish I could sell a few more, right?
Yeah, dude, you should be Paul the Jedi. You should get a business card, literally, that says Paul the Jedi. Well, run with it. It's you, yeah. Right? It's unique to you. That's just you and your brand. I think there's nothing wrong with that. So that's how you create a brand. That's how you create that organic following. People are going to want to follow with you because they relate with you on the same passion. Now, talk about on the other side that we're talking about, so what you kind of already started to do is, you know, you want to target in-market shoppers with a reason why they should buy from you. Right? Yeah. Okay. That's not social. Those are paid efforts. Right? You should have, even as a salesperson, you should have some level of paid efforts out there targeting, all right, why someone should buy from you. Now, we'll talk real quick. Why does a customer actually buy from a dealership? You know, there's 3 reasons why someone ultimately makes a decision to purchase from a specific location. It is product, people, and the operational experience. Okay. That's, if you're focusing on creating content around people that are in market, you should create content around those 3 things: product, people, and operation experience. Now, for people, it's you as a person, right? Yeah. All right. Your operational experience, your dealership may have not defined what their operational experience truly is to the consumer, but you as an individual can come out and define what your operational experience is. You know, you could run a paid ad against people that are actively shopping for GM vehicles. All right. And you could call it, it's like, you come to me because you're going to get the Paul experience. Well, what's the Paul experience, right? Now in this 30-second or 45-second video, you get to tell me as a consumer what the Paul experience is, or the Paul difference, right?
Or so quality experience, like I named myself.
Okay, well, there you go. I like that one too. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
That's all my handles. It's all quality experience. So,
but that's your acquisition strategy. So you got an acquisition strategy and you got a branding strategy. Definitely don't confuse the 2.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's what I've been doing.
Dude, it's okay. I think most people do. And that's actually why we wanted to do this podcast, right? Because look, you're not the only person out there trying to figure out this crap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I would push you to do, man. Now on the social side, that we talked a lot about the media side, right? Now we're talking about the social side. What are you doing socially right now?
You mean like socially on social media, or just socially in general?
How are you being social?
Oh, I interact with most of my Facebook friends. I'm always commenting on LinkedIn or on in my groups or in my Facebook page. Obviously, regularly posting. My own personal one, I don't normally post anything about cars. Not directly. I'll post memes.
Well, okay, so let's talk about being social then.
Like a crappy car, and say, how much is my car worth? Well, to be accurate, I need to know how much fuel's in the tank. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Sorry, what was the name of the city again where you're at?
Strathmore.
Strathmore. Okay, I was thinking something else. Okay, so it's Strathmore, right?
Yeah.
You know, how big is the city of Strathmore?
It's about 16,000 people.
Okay, so not a lot.
No.
Not a lot. Let's just say that, right?
Because the makeup of it, it gets a lot of people from neighboring towns.
Yep.
Like it's got more amenities than you would expect for a town that size, just because there's Siksika Nation, there's Langdon, there's Lyalta, there's a whole bunch of other little towns that feed into there. So instead of going into Calgary, they come into Strathmore. So
what I'd like you to do is do a little research, okay? And I want you to find out the hashtags that Strathmore is using, okay? It could be hashtag Strathmore. There could be some businesses or a park or a place that's popular in Strathmore that people are hashtagging on a regular basis. It could be a restaurant that is a big deal in town and people are constantly visiting and they're using that hashtag of the restaurant, right? But I need you to find out what those local hashtags are being used, and that's where you need to engage.
Okay.
That's what's going to give you the biggest return on your time and your investment.
So like search on Facebook for those.
Yeah. Give me a name of is there a place? Is there a restaurant? Is there a park? Like what?
Well,
I don't know Strathmore. Tell me what's big in Strathmore.
Well, there's Kinsman Park. There's the Strathmore Station restaurant. There's
I like the Strathmore Station restaurant. How good's their burger? I'm a big burger guy. Do they got good burgers?
They have really good burgers, really good steaks. Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'd be willing to bet you that you could probably go online right now and find people that have been hashtagging or posting about the Strathmore Station. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
The Strathmore Station, it's like a play on like a train station. They have like a caboose there or whatever.
Okay, you totally need to do some video content about that as well. But the park, is this a provincial park or is this a local park?
It's just a local little gathering area. They're actually building their brand new municipal building right beside it. So
it's a cool place. I bet you a lot of people are going there. They're probably taking pictures and stuff like that. They're probably tagging the area, right?
Yeah, they do a car show there every year.
Oh, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
So that's probably, so even for the hashtags on the car show, like you need to come up with a list of 20 to 30 hashtags that you find that are deeming local hashtags. That's who you need to engage with. Every time that hashtag's used, you need to go in and you need to post a comment, whoever used that hashtag. You know, someone's at the Strathmore Station and they just took a picture of the ribeye they just finished. You're like, that's my favorite too. How did you take your medium or medium rare?
The other key issue with this dealership is there's a guy that's been there 20 years.
Sure.
And
everybody knows him.
Someone drives on the lot. Oh yeah, I deal with Chris. You know.
Okay. Well, you can now.
I'm telling you, been there 7 years, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's either Chris or it's Pat." You know. So
you can dude, you can do it socially. You can kick their butts. 100%. I'd be willing to bet you in 12 months if you commit, all right, to really tracking those hashtags, being a part of those conversations, all right, they're going to know you in that local town. There's 16,000 people, right? You need 16,000 people to know who you are.
Yeah.
Right? To do so, you need to engage with them.
Yeah.
And let's say not all 16,000 are going to be on social. Let's say 6,000 of them are social. Okay. I'm being conservative there. Okay. Let's say 6,000 of them are on social, right? Those are the 6,000 people that you need, that you need them to know that you exist.
Because I've been using YYC in Calgary to try and get it broader. Like, because I was thinking Strathmore's too small. I need to convince people to come out to Strathmore.
But it's funny you say that because you just told me how these other guys, one's been there 7 years, the other guy's been there 20 some odd years. All right. They're literally doing majority of the business because people know who they are.
Yeah. And they have that long-standing relationship with them.
Well, they have a relationship with them, right? We don't know necessarily how good that relationship is. That's why you need to be online. You need to be engaging with the people in that area socially, right? So that they're completely aware of who you are and what you do for a living.
Yeah.
So each one, when you post in your comments, what you're doing is you're just trying to connect with the person, right? Someone posts a picture of the steak they just had. All right. You're not going to go in there and say, oh, by the way, I'm a car salesman.
No. I want people to know who I am and what I do and have it go, Oh yeah, there's Paul. Oh yeah, no, he sells cars too, doesn't he?
Paul, you know, I want people to think that Paul's everywhere at one time. Socially, Paul's all over the place. Like, did you see this Paul guy? He posted on my comment. Oh yeah, you know, he posted on my comment too. Like,
Yeah.
you have to engage. Social is about engagement, but it's about local engagement. People still think of social as just being like this big monster global thing. It is, but that's not what the original design was. The original design was to bring local communities in closer with each other, you know, just at a faster pace with more technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I'm just trying to think what else I got for you.
Yeah. Well, originally it was a university project, wasn't it? Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, and again, it's about community.
It was for use, right? Connecting university students.
It was just about community. That's all it was, right? It was just connecting people locally together with technology.
Yeah.
Right. But for some reason, people think of social media today as being this global play, and it's like I have to have 500,000 followers to make a damn difference. You don't.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't see any point in having somebody in India following me.
It doesn't make any sense. It's not going to. It's not. That's not your business. Right.
No.
You know, I mean, your business is selling cars in Strathmore.
Yeah.
You know, you got to connect with the Strathmorians. Does that sound right?
let's just not say what they are.
Okay, fair enough.
You can get some pretty bad names like Strathmorons.
No, we don't think they are. But I also think you also have young kids as well, right?
Yeah, 9, 10, 11, and 15.
So there's schools, there's sporting events, all right? There's a lot of that's going on as well, right? I can guarantee you there's hashtags that are being followed and used for those as well.
Yeah.
You know, connect with those people. You know, look, before social media, you had to literally go out and do this hand to hand. Now with social media, you can literally do it in your PJs. You can make these connections in your PJs.
Yeah, because it's pretty hard to get out there when you got that many kids, get out to all these events and stuff, right? So.
It is.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, I know we're getting to the end of our time. I hope this was helpful, man. Was this good?
It was, yeah. No, because, I was kind of doing not the branding, the other one there, and trying to make that my branding.
The acquisition side. So you got branding. You're gonna have a branding strategy, which is your Star Wars and Marvel, all right. And then you're gonna have an acquisition strategy. And your acquisition strategy is probably gonna be more paid efforts. Okay. But the acquisition on the paid side is going to be creating content that's relevant to that individual. All right.
Yeah.
Now on the acquisition side, there is a social element, and that is you engaging, all right, in the local hashtags, right. Making sure that people are aware of who you are as a person. And now how you're going to build a brand, how you're going to build an audience, you do that through your passion and what you enjoy doing. In your case, Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah, no, it's been really helpful to being able to focus my efforts and where to put those efforts and what to do with those with that time instead of just kind of spinning my wheels. And yeah, no, it's been very helpful for sure.
And that's what you just ask yourself. You're always asking yourself, all right, what am I doing right now? Is it for acquisition or is it for branding? And then you can move from there. You can move either one of those buckets. Paul, thank you so much for taking the time to jam with me today, dude. This was a lot of fun. Hey, for everyone out there that's listening and watching and would love to follow you and keep up to date on how you're doing, Paul, what's the best way to do so?
Well, I guess the LinkedIn. It's Paul Quality Experience Voort.
Awesome. Hey, thanks again, Paul, for taking the time to jam with me today. You have yourself a real good one.
All right, you too.